They take a 3-1 lead on defense and then drop all but 2 rounds to allow FaZe to take the map.
Reciprocity has started on defense for every single map in the series. That's not an advantage to be scoffed at, to be honest with you. Dokkaebi going to be starting off here on the bans. I really like that ban from Reciprocity, by the way. Blackbeard as well going to be gone. A curious one from FaZe, but sensible on a map like Consulate. We've talked about this in the past. Consulate is by far and away the best map for Blackbeard. The Dokkaebi ban is because of Retro's amazing play with Dokkaebi. Last time that we saw Reciprocity on Consulate, what Retro was doing with Dokkaebi was pretty awesome. So he would repel on CEO window, and he would cut off either the roamers on the entire west side of the top floor, or he would poke holes in the defense of the anchors on that top floor when the defenders are upstairs. Overall, though, that being disabled is going to be a huge advantage for FaZe, and Reciprocity will have to fill that gap with another operator, and it's not going to be Blackbeard because it's been banned out by FaZe. It's curious that Reciprocity banned their own Dokkaebi. I mean, I get it because Dokkaebi's been a good tool for both teams, but at the same time, I would have loved to have seen it from them.
Here's why. It forces FaZe to take another set of smokes.
It's true. And they've been taking a lot of sets of smokes. I mean, we saw a couple rounds on Bank where they had 3.
Yeah, and I mean, that's because you'd use Dokkaebi. That's because you'd use the Montaigne. But Montaigne is not an operator that we see FaZe use a lot on Consulate.
Yeah.
Maybe Finka, sure. Maybe Buck, sure. But you've got 2 frag grenades. You don't have any smokes on those operators. All right, so what next? Well, you look at FaZe's lineup. They have 0 smokes now. Almost assured that if you don't put that Dokkaebi ban in place, that Astro is going to be playing Dokkaebi. You're going to have the annoyance of her 2 logic bombs, and then additionally, you're going to have her 2 smokes as well.
Yeah.
That's a tool that is now off the board. It will force FaZe to have to play differently. Possibly bringing a Capitao, possibly bringing a Monte, or a Blitz.
There's also something to be said about the predictability of what Retro had been doing on those West windows.
Yes.
In the fact that it's been broadcasted now, that it's on VOD. Guarantee you FaZe has watched every VOD from Reciprocity at this tournament so far, leading into this match, and vice versa. So, yeah, may as well ban it out. It was a great tool. It's no longer an option. Now, defending the middle floor. Curious to start with. It's going to result in easy picks for Camera. He's in sight. Mark goes down along with Skies. The plant is going down as well, thanks to Moringa. A 3K for Cameraman. And down goes Retro to Mav. It's all up to Laxing. He'll get his first kill onto Mav, but it's not going to be enough. Hit by a lifeline from the Zofia, and he's just trying to relocate, trying to find a better angle, but it's going to be quite difficult. Going to Spiral, and the time is ticking away on this diffuser. He's shut down by Cameraman, a 4K in this round, and what an entry from FaZe.
He earns the number at the end of his name. And FaZe read the tea leaves and say, okay, we've got it. This is going to work well for us. Let's just take control. And the opposite of what Reciprocity tends to do, which is take control of the site and not know it, FaZe takes control without Reciprocity knowing it. A very swift plant, and FaZe on a good starting point here on Consulate. Now, Michael, if I recall correctly, you denoted yesterday that Consulate tends to be one of the more defender-sided maps in the entire pool. I could be wrong. It's been a long weekend. Or a week, actually, technically.
Yeah, it has been a long week, hasn't it, Parker? I mean, all things added in. So it's definitely a defender-sided map. As we've discussed, all of them are. This is not the most, but it's up there. It's 56% defender-sided. It's also the most played map in recent history for Siege. So that is worth noting. 16 times recent history. But yeah, very defender-sided map generally. 56% is kind of in the middle, though. I mean, it's upper middle. And that's 56% defense wins. Anyway, moving on.
But Reciprocity's going back to lobby.
They are going back to lobby. It's very odd. I mean, okay, think about it like this, Parker. I see the logic here. I'm sure you will too. I mean, we lost because the enemy rushed into sight. We didn't lose because our setup was bad. We just weren't paying attention. We can correct this. I don't necessarily blame Reciprocity for doing this. it's not a terrible idea.
Yeah.
They're just not going to fall victim to what FaZe did last time. Now we get to see what it's going to look like when FaZe actually used as a clear strategy, one step at a time instead of a rush, and Reciprocity is prepared for that. So it'll be basically a different round. At least I would imagine so.
Yeah, FaZe is completely handling this differently. They're taking admin, and then they're going into copy and break room, and then they will probably move up to printer, and then they'll move up to long desk and go from there. There was just a lot of blind spots for Reciprocity on that defense, and they're going to obviously make sure that that doesn't exist this time around. That's why you have the mute jammers, deprive the information from FaZe. That's why you have the Legion Mines, to be able to alert you to somebody pushing from that direction.
Camera going to be repelling into admin office, but he's behind the rest of his teammates as he was droning for them. There's a lot of players on the admin side. In fact, everyone on FaZe is on the admin side over by the east, as you can see. Mav outside, but still attacking from the east. It's a full commitment from east to west clear for FaZe. Retro playing a very long angle from the bathroom. We've seen this position played by actually Retro himself many times on this map, and it's a powerful position, that's for sure, but it leaves him extremely exposed. Laxing is supposed to be his relief, so if he's ever pinned, he can rely on Laxing getting him out of that situation, or at least that's the idea for Reciprocity.
Right. Interestingly enough, it's the mid-round right now that is proving to be a bit of an issue for FaZe as they just line everything up.
You can see the point of contention is going to be Projector. Main control focus for FaZe is Projector, or at least denying it to Reciprocity so they can play in a main lobby.
As it always is.
As it always is. And that's, of course, fresh in the minds of Reciprocity.
Get Skies on the smoke instead of having Retro play that role. That's why Retro is going to be running with the MP5 and the ACOG to be able to hold a longer range. Skies over by Bathroom can possibly toss smokes out, but here's the bigger issue. He's going to expose himself. Basically dare FaZe Clan to land these shots. First smoke canister that was tossed out from Skies went at 1 minute and 10 seconds. Second one's going to go at 45 seconds. Play going down from Moringa, and Skies will take out Astro. There's the smoke canister gets tossed down, but Moringa is taking a tiny bit of damage. He'll be able to get it off. FaZe, once again, a successful plant, and the Abana will be able to get out. But it's a good position for Reciprocity in the post plan as Retro takes out Yuna. Biggest problem with this site for retaking is the distance at which your attackers can engage. Laxing eliminates Mav, and well, Moringa's very low on HP. He'll get one, goes for a second, won't be able to grab it. Diffuse going off, Disable going down, Cameraman takes out Fox, a push, no camera will feast upon them. What a great play. Laxing is all but down to Cameraman, another clutch, another 4K, 8 kills on 2 rounds. Man, oh man, what a start for FaZe. Double lobby attacks, double plants, and 8 kills for Cameraman.
Moringa, the unsung hero, by the way. 2 plants for him, and he's been having an excellent match as well. Cameraman, though, enabling it thanks to his kills. And wow, what a misplay for Reciprocity. They played everything perfectly, retaking it to the site, but then they peeked camera 1 by 1. To be fair to Reciprocity, Cameraman played it perfectly. He kept himself only exposed to potentially 1 angle, and he dictated that angle with great efficiency. Reciprocity now have to be in a terrible place mentally, and they will change their setup, going to the top floor. It's been the Cameraman show for this match so far. He seems to really like attacking the middle floor. And finally, that we've moved, now that we've moved, we might see some different results here for Reciprocity. They have been lethal. That retake from Reciprocity was very good. It just was not enough.
Man, what a play by Cameraman. Extraordinarily good individual performance. And he did so pretty much blind. It didn't look like there were any drones to be able to assist him. It's just everybody from Reciprocity pushed him outside.
There had to have been some drones outside.
There must have been a drone, I would imagine, on the bomb.
Yeah, at least one on the bomb, one by the front door. I mean, when you've got 4 people stacking up there, there's no way there's not going to be drones littered all over the place. But in general, an amazing round from Cameraman, yeah. Opening up into the garage, it's going to be... Oh, FaZe, and an excellent shot from Laxing. Cameraman will not get another 4K, and that has got to be a sigh of relief on the side of Reciprocity. Cameraman calling out the nice shot. Respect being paid, and I think it's due.
You just silenced the hottest gun so far in this matchup.
Yeah, that's a really big frag, and it might be, because of that, the first round for Reciprocity, but it's not over yet. FaZe fan could still recover it.
And you still need to be able to transition, right? The IQ going down will mean that Blacksing and Mark's utility will be a little bit safer, but it will also mean that FaZe can rest easy. The Pulse will not be aggressively hunted by the IQ, not in the same way that we've seen it before.
Attackers have located a bomb.
So, there you have it.
Pretty big win there for Laxing, and it came off of just a random roam downstairs, peek into yellow stairs, and good timing, really.
Yes. Possible pressure on Connector over here is that's where FaZe is looking. A lot of teams will decide to take console and meeting from over on the admin side of things, but that's not the case at the moment. It does appear that it's going to be a console window push.
Ooh, FaZe just saw somebody potentially rotating, but no, it looks like he was outside front door. Bad call on my part, but potentially going to be able to see him on the cardiac sensor, at the very least. He's definitely trying to get control of admin office. There is no admin presence right now from FaZe. They're hitting B.
Which means that both Laxing and FaZe are not going to be able to support their team if the push comes in fast enough. But FaZe on top of the Visa stairs, he'll look over and possibly have a run out. Skies taking out Moringa will mean that Reciprocity has their best possible advantage that they can have. Those Skies has been taken down, and it'll look like it'll be an easy finish for Astra. Upside down on Repel in the console office windows. Claymore's still safe, but there's a run out from Laxing, and oh, Astro looked away at the wrong time. Pistol is out, Laxing is there to take out Mav. A huge moment, but immediately silenced by Yuna. Will have to do all the work himself. He's got control of yellow stairs, but that might be as far as he goes. As he gets to the top and looks all the way in towards console office. Waiting around the doorway, the UMP of FaZe will give some warning shots and know that Yuna is under watch, and it's Mark, who inside a cubby will finally give Reciprocity a victory that they need through 3 rounds. Prompt the team to have to go back to one of the other sites.
Big 3K there from Laxing.
Absolutely.
I mean, if it weren't for that, I think that we might have seen another FaZe round. Reciprocity adjusting the top floor, also a huge factor. Big advantage that they had going into that one. Defending the middle floor was not a great choice. I think 2 rounds in a row from Reciprocity. That's the thing. I mean, when we look back at this at the end, no matter the result, we're going to say either A, Reciprocity could have won it a lot easier if they decided not to defend mid 2 times at the beginning, or B, they might have won if they decided not to defend mid 2 times at the beginning. It really has cost them for this match, no matter the result. But they'll be going down to the basement for their 4th attempt at defense. And I think that's a good call. Maybe come back to the middle floor after Cameraman has cooled down a little bit.
Yeah. Cool off he has.
I mean, he didn't get a kill that round, but it's too early to call it, man. It's too early. He could get a 4K this round as well.
Yeah. He was the first person eliminated in that round, and obviously when you have that player of that caliber go off, well, obviously that's gonna be an issue no matter who it is. Doesn't matter what operator they're playing. Obviously, it's more crucial if the operator is integral to your strategy. I find that a lot of IQs, that the way teams play them, they start the early scouting recon, be able to figure out exactly where the defense is better structured if your drones keep getting shot out or if there's new jammers that cause you headaches. And then you just transition to that frag and roll, which is what Cameraman does. And I mean, you can frag so well in the post.
Heartaches. My drone. No.
Not my drone!
No! Oh, Mark the Shark looking on his teammate's evil eye. Retro got a good position there, and he's going to be able to call a push in through the breach. That evil eye on the garage floor is very powerful. Mirror windows to boot, so information is well in hand for Reciprocity. Only way to get rid of these evil eyes right now is going to be from the lifeline or the grenades. You could use the hammer, of course, but it's not likely to happen. Not where it's positioned currently. FaZe are late clearing on the top floor, but only so late. We still have plenty of time here for FaZe, so no rush at all. The roamers from the defense are currently, looks like, non-existent, at least vertically. Top 2 floors stranded, and yes, indeed, all of the defenders downstairs. And it looks like Laxing's going to make me eat my words. As he moves up to Visa.
So a nice long angle down to Zulu that we see being played. It leads outside of the bench. Run out potential there as well if need be, but no. I mean, it's a garage play. You could potentially go for a run out, but I mean, that's only really if you lose control of yellow at that point because you don't have the yellow stairs to possibly vault out of. FaZe putting themselves in an excellent position without having to commit a body to flank watch by having the drones there. That'll catch Laxing. As we noted, Laxing does tend to play that very late lone wolf style of role. Just from the audio cues that we had, it sounded like Cameraman was trying to grab some gadgets, met his fate at the hands of Mark's C4, who then gets tossed aside by Mav.
It's a good pick there, but only a response. Mav going to be going for those evil eyes. He'll get at least one. The second nade is already taken out, so he might have gotten the other. We didn't see it, but good result overall for Mav. And yes, indeed, both evil eyes are gone, allowing Moringa to go for a plant behind the black car, and nobody's stopping him. Skies goes for a rush, and he gets it. What a push. Yuna shuts him down. Mav also takes out Laxing, so it's an advantage for FaZe. They have 30 seconds, which is plenty of time. Yuna going for the plant. Above, it's going to be Foxy, but can he deny the plant is the real question. And no, he won't. He'll get it on the post, but it might be too late. Astro now going to be safe to push all the way outside, and he is in the perfect post-plant position. All he needs to do is wait. There is an ACOG on the defense, but he's just waiting for the push to happen, allowing for the time to tick down. He has a drone. Ooh, he eats some shots there. It's an even exchange of HP almost, but he goes to yellow stairs and they're not expecting this. Oh, go! No, what a clutch from Retro! A beautiful flick onto Astro, who seemed to have every advantage, and Reciprocity will salvage that round.
They are so over, they are enthused. Look at them. They are so amped.
They should have lost that.
They absolutely should have.
That was an amazing
That was an almost unlosable position from Astro.
Yeah, and he lost it. But it was the Maestro. Straight, it was the Maestro who clutched that out.
Yeah.
I can't believe he landed that shot.
It was a beauty.
Mm-hmm.
It was a thing of absolute beauty.
Here's a tricky thing, Parker. Where are we going?
Hold on a second here. Let me put my glasses on. It's kind of blurry.
He's actually putting his glasses on.
1F lobby, 1F press room.
That's the middle floor, isn't it?
It would appear so.
Yeah, so middle floor, not a great site for Reciprocity so far.
Mm-hmm.
Be a little bit tricky.
Mm-hmm.
And they've lost it twice. But here's the big thing. They've lost it twice to 4Ks from Cameraman. And you could make an argument that it is, in fact, possible for Cameraman to not 4K on this site. I don't know if you would make that argument, but it's definitely an argument to be made.
I mean, you don't have to go to the lobby. There's still the Teller's Archive site as well.
Yeah,
if you really want to, you got a fourth site available.
You're technically correct. And actually, if you think of it's got, okay, it doesn't get played very much, so the stats are really messed with this one, but it's technically the most successful defender site on this map.
If you look at what just happened there are a couple sites in this game that are brutally hard to retake.
Yeah.
The garage of Consualte, unless you are dramatically outnumbered, like 1v3, it is so difficult for the defenders to be able to outgun you. The attackers will usually have ACOGs, which the defenders might not have at that point, depending on the way that you ran your team composition on defense and which operators are still alive. You look right now, both Skies and Retro have ACOGs, but if they both die early, and even if it's a 1v3 with a Jaeger, a Legion, and a Mute, the ACOG will allow you to be able to engage at a longer range and be a bit safer. Just play safer, all things considered. You can go all the way back to that driveway at the very top. You can play the marble banisters. You can play by the cars. You can play over by the stairs. It's very similar to kids' dorms in Oregon, where once you lose control as the defense of your site, trying to get it back in a post-plant is nigh impossible. And it really relied on Astro making the right choice to get aggressive on yellow stairs, but Retro's singular effort being the difference maker there.
Yeah, the fact that Retro landed that shot is all that really matters. I mean, I can't even fault Astro for it, to be honest. He could not have gotten back fast enough, and he had to commit to the peak because someone was disabling the diffuser. So all in all, it's not Astro's fault. It's just Retro playing better. He's going to be the man in the bathroom, again, on the roam upstairs. And Laxing is going to be his support once more. Their job is just to deny Projector. That's the only room that needs to be held on this top floor by laxing Reciprocity. It's much easier to do it on the west side, as the east side is easy clear for FaZe. They always take an admin office, and Reciprocity is expecting that, allowing it to happen. Now, this is really curious.
This is exactly what Nip did, Michael. They literally just walked right into long desk.
Yeah.
Psycho was on Ash, crouched, walked his way up to bathroom.
Yeah.
Look at Retro.
And it's really curious that it's taken them 2 minutes to position themselves like this. They know that there's nobody playing in Projector, and that's all that FaZe want to do. They just want to deny it the same way Reciprocity wants to deny it, but that might not be enough with the actual direct denial down from the anchors.
Yeah. So this front door, once again, 3 bodies watching it. We could go for an early execute here. Really fall on any kind of plant denial that could go in. Moringa will just watch it be covered. But oh, a big C4! FaZe finds 2 for the price of 1. And even though Yuna takes out Retro, it's Reciprocity all over the board. There's Laxing, another beautiful shot from above. And FaZe thwarted. They walk right in, and they are quite literally shown the door, Michael. And Reciprocity, a great bounce back, and now 3 rounds in a row to lock out FaZe in the latter half of Reciprocity's defense. Console office will open back up for the final stead here on defense for the North American squad.
You should never be able to attack in through the main door on a middle floor defense unless you've gotten some picks. The reason you shouldn't be able to, the abundance of counter utility on the defense. Last couple times we saw Reciprocity go to the middle floor. First time they got thwarted by a rush. Second time, they didn't have enough counter plant utility. They were relying on those gas canisters. They did not do Reciprocity justice. This time around, Reciprocity were ready. That C4 from FaZe, it's a really old C4. A really old one. And it actually fell out of favor a long time ago because it became predictable. But cyclical meta, Reciprocity have brought it back. Worked out great for them there. FaZe just seemed to not expect the C4 from below. That's the only reason I can imagine that they're doubling up on that push in through the front door and having somebody rush in instead of just leaving the planter out to die while trying to cover them to the best of their ability, which is what you would usually do if you're aware C4 is in play, because you lose your planter, yeah, but if you still have manpower, you can re-up on the plant. But not the case here for FaZe. They doubled down, they lost their manpower, and it cost them. Now, as you said, the top floor, the final site here for Reciprocity, and this was the first site, first round, in fact, Reciprocity managed to take, and it could give us a 4-2 split in the first half.
On defense, on Consualte, yeah, that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, no matter what on defense, doesn't matter the map, actually, in this meta, you should be ending about 4-2. The only map I would say that's an exception to that is probably Oregon. I think that's it.
And that's because Oregon has 2 kind of...
Yeah, and then 2 kind of okay.
2 kind of all right.
Yeah, all right sites, and then 2 sites.
If I was to use noise
grunts
and grunts,
yeah,
to describe Oregon, it would be like, okay, oh, I guess okay.
And yeah. For the defense. And if we're talking about Consulate, that's the thing, is you've got and
yeah,
in terms of bomb sites. Yeah. I mean, and again, while the new site is an it's also statistically a really good site. It just doesn't get played very much. Not a lot of teams have strats on it, and that's why it's kind of in the background.
So, final round, and it's attack onto long desk, at least final round on the first half of this matchup, and it is our 3rd map as well. FaZe and Reciprocity, as we predicted, would need every single map to get to this point. And even though this is the best map, statistically, for Reciprocity, one of their best maps, they fell to Nip in their matchup just a couple days ago. So, or rather, just in the last couple of hours.
Wow.
A beautiful toss from FaZe to eliminate Yuna. It's been moved on.
Out, and he will be punished, but it's going to take a while, and it's just Mav, the last attacker. He loses the fight. How does it happen? Mark, what an excellent angle to play there. He was fully exposed, fully detected, and he still won it. Mav has got to be kicking himself. The bar's playing against Mav in that situation.
I think that's a monk ass.
That is a monk ass.
That's a monk ass. 100%.
And it's a good result for Reciprocity, but the whole defense worked there for Reciprocity. Every single facet. They were winning all their fights.
I don't use gamer terms all that much while casting, but that is the perfect description there.
You do from time to time.
I mean, I think it's a folksy reference to just toss in like a little bit of spice.
Folksy?
Folksy. I would say it's folksy. So
gamer culture has become folksy.
But man, you now put Reciprocity in a position where let's look back to the Reciprocity Nip matchup. All right, it was yesterday. On defense, Reciprocity won 2 rounds. One was lobby, and the other was console office. That was it. Nip was so much better. And then, you know, Reciprocity's record, they lost garage, won lobby, lost console office, won console office, lost lobby. In the first round of overtime, lost console office. Rec were so much better on attack, and now they have a massive advantage coming into this. The real question is going to be, is the rest of FaZe going to be able to pick it up? Cameraman got 8 kills in the first 2 rounds, 0 since.
On that note, what you were talking about, the fact that Reciprocity played against Nip, I think is a huge advantage to Reciprocity. Because again, as you said, they played on Consulate. What did you say earlier about FaZe Clan? Their attack strategies, very similar to Ninjas in Pajamas. In fact, extremely close. Reciprocity has experience against the playstyle that FaZe are employing because they played against Nip earlier. And it's giving Reciprocity good predictions, solid predictions on what they need to deal with. They're prepared. And you're right, going on to attack, this is Reciprocity's comfort zone. But I will say, again, Dokkaebi not available for Reciprocity, not going to be great. However, Mark has been fragging throughout this whole match, and he's going to continue to do so. Cameraman goes down. That is the dedicated support player of Mark, hitting his shots. Again, as he's been doing a lot for this match. I think he was the top frag on Bank for Reciprocity.
Mark?
Yeah, Mark.
Well, you had Sky's bottom frag, so
yeah,
apparently it's opposite.
I guess Mark has got a top frag.
Yeah, at that point. At that point. So.
Well, in this round, he's gotten a kill, and it was Legion to boot. Moringa's eaten a little bit of damage, and that's over by Bathroom. So he's in a very powerful position. He's trying to deny yellow stairs using this mirror window. It's a pretty common mirror window, one we see a lot these days, and very powerful position.
I've actually seen its pick rate
plummet
up, and no, that mirror window's now seen a resurgence as of late. Actually,
well, it goes up and down.
Ebb and flow.
Yep. I mean, it's what we usually see, and one of the reasons why it sometimes doesn't see play is because of that nade we just witnessed. Moringa moved in the perfect moment to avoid the grenade, but still not in the best position because of that. Mav also eating some damage earlier, so great spot right now for Reciprocity.
So you take Retro off of the Dokkaebi, you're going to put him on a position where he's still got 2 smokes in his hands. You got to burn the ADS right there, and Astro will lose the 1 bit of cover that he has in this corner. Oh, and a well-timed grenade from FaZe right through the top of Closet. It just blows up Astro, and it's almost as if he knew at that exact moment how much trouble he was in. 1 toxic canister will give cover to Moringa as he pushes on out, and Yuna's positioning connector will be given away. But after the drone falls, Mav will push on up to assist Yuna in connector. Moringa just barely surviving the firebolt on yellow stairs means that FaZe Clan are going to have to really hold on tight. Look for some steady ground as this hurricane of Reciprocity is about to hit, and hit hard. Not a lot of time for Reciprocity to be able to transition on in. And if they don't get this play right through the console windows, there could be a C4 and some plant denial waiting for them. There goes Mark to Yuna. This could end up being a hail of bullets that shuts Reciprocity down. C4 gets tossed out, and it connects. It takes out Retro, and Yuna doesn't see, but it looks like there's another body. Sky's in the midst of smoke going for the plant, and as the smoke clears, Yuna is there. FaZe have everything working in their favor to hold this together as Yuna collects another. FaZe gets 1. Mav is down, but he'll have to find Moringa. Oh! FaZe can't plant! Oh! There he goes, he gets it! Moringa on time will find him, and it's easy for FaZe. You can't play it in the closet, FaZe. You've been around long enough to know that. Oh, man. FaZe survived by the skin of their teeth, and despite riding out that storm, they do so with grace.
You know, we're talking about rounds that should have been the losing team's round. Yeah, Reciprocity should have taken that one. Every advantage, manpower, positioning, control, And somehow they managed to lose it. Great plays from Yuna. I have no idea what was happening in terms of communication for Reciprocity, because it didn't seem like the planter was aware there was anybody inside, a CEO on the defensive side, but there was, and it was Yuna. He managed to not only take out the cover with the C4, follow that up by disabling the defuse plan. I don't know how Reciprocity allowed that to happen. A lot of players from Reciprocity were off position as well. Laxing seemed to be coming in from behind, but his timing was really poor. The smokes ended up working against him, because while he had control per connector, he couldn't actually do anything because, oh no, teammate smokes. He had to rush through, and then he died. A really peculiar round, a bit of a mess, and FaZe somehow persevere when they really shouldn't have. The round, and the scoreline should read 5-2 at the top of your screen right now. It is the end of the story.
Well, let's also keep in mind that this was FaZe getting back around that they shouldn't have lost.
Fair.
Reciprocity previously.
Absolutely.
Retro was able to win that round against Astro in the post plant on Garage. That should have been FaZe's, and that round should have been Reciprocity's. But as I noted, you've got 3 people trying to go in through the windows on console office, and you have not flushed out connector. You are a C4 or 2 away from certain doom, and that's exactly what ended up happening.
And if we're talking about should-abouts, or should-have-beens?
It's called whataboutism, Michael.
Whataboutism, yeah, if we're doing whataboutism. Thank you, Parker. I appreciate you.
Appreciate it.
If we're doing whataboutism, then yeah, I think personally the match should be pretty much over at this point. Because there were those 2 rounds in the middle floor from Reciprocity, 2 in a row. What about if they hadn't defended that? What if they'd just gone to the standard sites? But that's not what happened. Cameron not going to commit fully to Bandit tricking the wall, and I think that's probably the right call. He might have been punished for just that. It means we're going to have panel number 3 opened on upper. Correction, panel number 1. Pardon me. It's good control for Reciprocity as they start moving towards the tank. It's nice to see that Reciprocity are opening the garage before they do the other steps. That's the right way to handle attacking on Consulate. If you don't need to open up vertically, that is. And Reciprocity didn't need to open up vertically. They didn't need any other control besides the Thatcher EMPs and the Thermite exothermic charges. So they went for it early, and it worked out for them. They also had Skies on yellow to peek in case it was necessary. It just wasn't.
They also didn't. They also smoked off a pretty poor placement. Oh man, Skies is off to the races. He's in R4C in hand, but he gets cut down by Moringa. This was a plant for Mark, but he'll peel off, and he gets finished off. Moringa as FaZe goes for a full court press, but Rec will lock them all out, and now Moringa will need to do some excellent work. Shotgun in hand, back of White Van. Very minimal HP, only 6 bullets to go with. As Fox is above to just try and sledge away all of the cover that Moringa will have. He gets droned, and Moringa's in bad shape here. Does not really have the arsenal to be able to take multiple fights at such great distances. That's a missed drone as well. As Moringa heads back into security office, and we'll look over towards pipes. Watch the bottom of yellow stairs. But look at this. Reciprocity, you got 3 bodies, you got 40 seconds. Plant the gosh darn diffuser, and there you go. Retro in front of the White Van will get it. Moringa with no information, fearing a push. The double doors over towards spiral stairs. We'll look in that direction. Reload, might as well get yourself as ready as possible for the rocking that Reciprocity is planning on giving you. Because, Michael, this is once again the site where everybody's going to retreat and play as far back as possible and put you as the lone defender in a terrible position to try to retake. That just the diffuser that needs to be disabled is sitting in the middle of the open. The wide gaping hole in the garage, and Moringa will lose some more cover from above as he'll head on out just to the diffuser, and Laxing's watching it. Reciprocity makes very fast work of the post plan after Moringa presents himself to them. And this is exactly how you play it. Those 2 panels, man, so much cover, so much protection for the attackers in a post plant. So difficult for the defenders to win that. Moringa was essentially helpless and hopeless in that circumstance.
Moringa was the only player on the side of FaZe who was awake and aware of the danger that was Reciprocity pushing through the garage panel. The only one. He not only denied the initial plant using his gas canisters, but he also shut down the rush from Skies. He had an amazing round, but everyone else on FaZe fell by the wayside. And it was a pretty easy sweep for Reciprocity. going to be another basement defense here for FaZe, and you can expect Reciprocity to be a little bit slower with their take this time. They now have gotten their rush back from earlier in the match, and that karma being paid, I don't imagine Reciprocity will get away with it again. Laxing again. Boy, Laxing has been having a tournament and a half. We've talked about it in the past. Laxing is the definition of a LAN player.
So is Skies usually, to be fair. But Skies is having an awful day.
Yeah, he's having an awful day. It's all right, though. Other players are stepping up for Reciprocity to make it happen, and that it's not unheard of for your main fragger to just not frag, and the support players to start stepping up.
Yeah.
But yes, Laxing, again, the definition of a LAN player. If you want to see somebody who really excels on the LAN environment, it's Laxing. And he's showing that right now. Reciprocity as a whole, though, working as a good unit. They're pretty close to victory here. It's taken all 3 maps, but I don't know. Consulate has just looked like Reciprocity's playing ground.
Just glad that they were able to finally get a diffuser down. Like,
yeah, it took
you got one job.
It took him a long while.
One job at that point.
I do think that Reciprocity needs to think a little bit how they play with that diffuser. I mean, Mark's one of their primary supports, right? Mm-hmm. Last map, we saw him top fragging.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, Reciprocity have a little bit of, I think, planning to do on the diffuser in the future, but it has, as of yet, not cost them too much.
The ability to turn a game around that Reciprocity has so far on Consulate needs to be given a bit of attention here. As you said, it just looked better, but those first 2 rounds, how swiftly FaZe walked in, got the plant down. Cameraman drops 8 frags, 0 since, by the way. In the next 6 rounds, Cameraman unable to find the board, but that's okay. The rest of his team has been able to pick it up. And you've had Cameraman in various different positions where getting kills not really his requirement. But that could have been, after 2 rounds, the end of any other team.
Yeah, a lesser team would have let that tilt them.
Yes.
Absolutely right, Parker. FaZe very far off-site. They have both an Echo and a Maestro, so this actually looks like a bait. They want the attackers to commit to a push here. They've also got the C4s set up from security. This is a very, very dangerous stack for FaZe, but they clearly know what they're doing. They're expecting Team Reciprocity to attack the same way they did in the previous round. I don't know. This is going to be really explosive.
Yeah. If it feels like it's too good, then it probably is, right? Here's your Ying push, though. Plant falls off. Skies gets cut down. Unable to make it towards the rotate hole. It's just going to be as mobile or immobile a drone as possible. Cameraman eliminates Skies. So there you go. Pick up a kill. FaZe will trade off Mav. So both teams will lose 1. Skies is downed and then finished off. That's a win for FaZe Clan. It also blunts the momentum that Reciprocity had to be able to get inside of the site. All reliable Yokai drone is there, but Laxing on yellow stairs will punish Cameraman. And FaZe ripping up the floor from above with Laxing looking to possibly try and help out. With those smoke canisters still on the board from Moringa, Mark is too low to commit to a proper plant, as is Retro. And the Yokai drone still up could spell disaster. But Astro with a great gun in hand walks right up, tears through Mark the Shark, and Artillery will head back as Yuna's there. Moringa will also go in, and Retro will have to fall off that defuse, but he's going nowhere, concussed, and seeing many different forms of FaZe as they collapse on him, and it's a good hold for FaZe to be able to take the garage. Only takes 2 opportunities and keeps this gap very close as Reciprocity's rush does not go according to plan, not go according to schedule, and that's a garage defense successful for FaZe.
It's the same problem that Reciprocity had on Bank. Their strats are stale, man. That's 2 rounds in a row where they commit to the same exact take. Hey, everybody stack up outside garage and let's rush in. Yeah, they changed their operator selection. I'll give them that. But they were predicted. Because anybody could predict that. FaZe adjusted. They brought the right operators to hold on to the garage, given the push that Reciprocity was bringing out. And you said it yourself, it was too good to be true, the amount of control that Reciprocity had inside the garage. And it was a bait. FaZe absolutely shredded Reciprocity because of how predictable the American team has become. They're going to need to adapt their strategies moving forward if they want to have hope of winning this. We still have potentially overtime in line for this match. A tactical timeout here is the right call from Team Reciprocity. Diversity in strats, probably what they need. This giving them an opportunity to formulate one. Again, the stale nature of the strategies from Reciprocity cost them a map on Bank. And it could cost them a series.
Terrible executes and the inability to coordinate cost FaZe a map on Coastline, though.
Yeah, I mean...
both teams showing off their weaknesses here. There's been some stumbles out of the gate, but the things that are done so well, especially by FaZe in that particular round...
It's a great bait.
It was a great bait, mate.
Yeah. Where I know that from something.
It's from the internet, Michael.
Is that just a
lot of things.
Ambiguous internet thing?
Out of Google. Feel free to check at your leisure, Michael. I'm not your father.
We're gonna go to top floor.
I'm not your father.
All right, bro. We're gonna go to top floor. And FaZe, interesting operator lineup here. They're not gonna bring the castle, which is a little bit weird on this defense, but of course we've seen that before. Could bring the double, indirect denial, the Echo and Maestro. Again, 2 operators. Usually you see banned, but not the case here, as Valk and Vigil have been banned. That Vigil went unbanned on Bank, and yeah, FaZe weren't super happy about that.
Good way of putting it.
They won, but I mean, Vigil was still really powerful, and if you just don't have to deal with them, sometimes it's really nice.
All right. So, Michael, we have 2 rounds left until overtime. We either go to overtime or Reciprocity wins.
Okay.
Well, actually, 3 rounds, technically. FaZe could technically
still win. Yeah, if it's going to be...
FaZe could technically still win this round.
If it's going to be overtime.
Round, and then still win as well.
Well, 2 rounds if you don't count this round. We're almost halfway through this round, so...
It's going to be an attack upstairs on console office because it has been unlocked / opened yet again due to the way that the rotation works. Bear in mind that you can defend a site only after 2 other defenses, providing you get a successful defense. Example, round 1, you win a site. You have to go somewhere else for rounds 2 and 3. Round 4, you go back. There you go.
Yep.
Very simply.
How that works.
Very simple. So we haven't seen anything outside of the console offices and garage for FaZe because they won console office and then they just won garage on their most recent endeavor. Now, or their most recent venture. If FaZe is successful in console office here, then we will have to either see the lobby, which proved to be quite difficult for Reciprocity all but 1 time, or the new Teller's Archive site, and we say new because it still really hasn't seen an awful lot of playtesting.
No. Well, it's possible, however unlikely. I think with the level of stress involved and the stakes, I don't imagine either of these teams want to go to the new site. It's a huge risk, especially if it's not well practiced by them. Speaking of risks, we've seen Reciprocity have one of the slowest attack rounds from them so far. They're almost all outside. I think they might all be outside.
Yes.
Just waiting for something.
What is Laxing doing?
He's watching the run out. He's baiting Fox 8 for the run out. Makes sense. It's a smart play.
Right,
but it could potentially be really bad as Cameraman's going to take out Mark through a run out and a second one for Cameraman. He's not supposed to get that. Sky should have gone the refrag there. This round is all but over as Mav eliminates Fox 8. Retro and Laxing are all outside. I mean, Laxing going to start moving his way into the building. He's, I believe, the first attacker to do so. But will it really matter with so little time and so many operators to fight?
No, this is going to be very difficult. Retro holding the diffuser as well means he's very susceptible once again to Moringa's smokes, very similar to the last round, or even possibly a goo mine or 2 should he hit them. He's only got about 30 HP with which to work. He'll head towards yellow stairs as Laxing is on the other side of the map, and I'll just wait for the telltale signs of one of the defenders there. The Maestro's going to pop on up, shut down Laxing, and Retro getting a kill of his own, but it could be largely impactless as he gets pushed from Cameraman, who has woken up. And ladies and gentlemen, we got a tie game, 5-5. And FaZe, you can tell, motivated, in good spirits. And that was momentum-based teams, those emotional teams, Michael. FaZe being one of them, they're fired up.
Middle floor here for FaZe. It's going to be the first time they go here. They've got to go full circle. They won the basement. They won the top floor. Now it must be either middle or the new site, and they're going to commit to middle. that last round from Reciprocity, I have no idea what they were thinking. I really...
Maybe they weren't.
Maybe they weren't. Maybe the previous loss got inside their heads, because that attack strategy was just nothing. It was actually nothing. They were all sitting on rappel waiting for picks.
Right.
And that's not a strategy.
Protect your bombs from being defused.
I don't think they were expecting Cameraman's play more than anything.
That's true.
Cameraman essentially broke them.
Yeah, with the run out from the garage, that's a flank you have to watch. By the way, we were talking about how Laxing was watching the run out for FaZe on that bathroom rappel, and that's great and all. But who is watching the run out from garage? Because that's an angle left uncovered. It's important to note that there is a way to watch all of the runouts on the west side. If you rappel on the wall next to those stairs by garage, you can catch somebody running out from garage. You can catch somebody running out from yellow window or door. I mean, you have everything pretty much locked down. You can also technically catch somebody running out from the piano windows, but it's the hardest angle to cover. No matter what you're looking at, though, that's your best bet. No one was on that position. Doesn't really matter. It's personal preference. The baseline of that rappel is that you should have 2 people covering runouts if you're going to commit to it for the long term. And talking about long term, that was a long rappel from Reciprocity. Yes. It was 2 minutes, in fact.
Laxing just kind of sat up there, and I mean, yeah, you were watching that. But that's why I said, what are you doing? Why is there no Claymore there? What are you bringing as full utility on the attacking side that you don't have at least a Claymore to put on that window? Now, mind you, there are 2 windows there. So you might have had a Claymore on one of them and manually watched the other, but wasn't a good allocation of their time. Not at all. So Reciprocity have found themselves losing out on a major advantage yet again. They took Bank by storm and let it slip away, and FaZe took control and never looked back. Similarly, we have the same story on Consualte. Need I remind you, Michael, it was a 4-2 split through the defense, and now it's FaZe who's racking it up on D. So it could just simply be the defense on Consualte, the way that the bands play and the way that these 2 teams play. That's how it works. I'm not sure.
Could very well be.
Yeah.
Parker, remember how we talked about no matter the result, we're going to point a finger back to those first 2 rounds where Reciprocity defended the middle floor and gave a round away for free and failed to defend just on a basic take from FaZe? Well, I'm pointing my finger back there now because FaZe won only 2 attacks, and those were it. Reciprocity has managed to win an attack as well. Similar reason, FaZe weren't paying much attention to the pushing through garage. But that's it. Those are the, I mean, it's 2 for FaZe, and that's going to put them in a great spot and could potentially get them the match. Mark is planting? What is going on? He's faking it, though, and he gets taken out by Moringa. A whole fight going on that we can't see just inside the main door, and it's actually going to be FaZe repelling the attack. I have no idea what the plan was there from Reciprocity. FaZe is going to take out Moringa as he drops from above. A confusing result, but he'll be shut down by Astro. Yokai drone still in play and Retro eliminated thanks to that. Astro with some excellent gunplay. It's all up to Laxing inside of main desk, and he's not going to see the Maestro, but he sees him too late. It's actually the Doc, but it doesn't matter. Astro shuts him down. Reciprocity with a terrible attack in through the main lobby.
I like the celebration from Cameraman and Astro and the look of concentration from Mav to say, we're not done yet. And this match could be far from over. We could still have 4 more rounds to go, depending on what happens on Garage.
Parker, Reciprocity just threw all of their bodies into main lobby on a mid-floor defense.
Well, to be fair, we didn't see what happened in the lobby.
Right. But, if you'll let me finish my point, they threw all of their bodies in the main lobby on a middle-floor defense. Neither Echo or Maestro banned. They've been fully utilized by FaZe Clan throughout this entire match. You know that they had to bring at least one of them, probably both of them, depending on what the 6-picking was. But no matter how you look at that, you've got a lot of off-site presence in the main lobby for FaZe, and you have to clear that before you make a rush in through main lobby. That's never going to work.
I just wanted to know, was it a simple Capitao try to isolate with the asphyxiating bolts, get a couple smokes down, and just go for a plant, similar to what FaZe did?
I mean, that might have been the plan, but it was dissimilar, though. I mean, FaZe Clan came from Piano. That was their rush. They came in through Yell Stairs. They went on rappel of Piano. They got the plant where there was nobody covering.
FaZe appeared to have coverage from above. As the sledge then dropped, took out Moringa, SMG-11 on SMG-11.
That was probably the call. Once they had control of above and projector, hey, we have middle, or we have main bomb site inside main lobby. Go for the plant.
Moringa with a double kill. It started the whole ball roll.
It's the yokai drones and the evil eyes.
But no, it didn't actually look like Yuna had a yokai drone in there, though.
He did.
Remember, he relocated it.
He may have.
Get it in at the very final moment.
But it was calling information. No matter what, the off-site presence from FaZe Clan was predictable. Definitely an evil eye, or two. Probably two in there, for sure.
So, Michael, match point in favor of the Brazilians. FaZe Clan right now holding on. They're possibly 2.5 minutes away from seeing them on the main stage on Friday. Reciprocity is a team that has continuously improved in North America and got here by winning DreamHack Montreal. And we're so close to being able to put this away earlier on. The Reciprocity have only gotten 1 round over the last 5. And that is obviously a bad stat line to look at.
Yeah.
It's not just been an individual performance for Reciprocity, but I think that this being a competitive environment has shown that Rec, who are still a fairly new roster, all things considered, right? This was a roster that formed after the US Nationals in December. So you've really only had a month to gel. So they still have things to work on, and I think it's really been exposed here.
I'm really worried about the fact that Reciprocity are going for a main garage take right this second with, again, FaZe Clan having both Echo and Maestro in play. One thing that they have that's going their way is the C4 from Mira was wasted, so that's good. Other than that, though, this is going to be a FaZe Clan slanted round, especially as we hit the halfway mark and Reciprocity have gotten no picks yet.
And I mean, you're not running an IQ on Reciprocity's side of things. And look you've got Yokais, you've got the Mirror Windows, you've got the Evil Eye cams, you know, you've got the smokes available, you've got the goo mines, and you've got IQ, you can counter about half of that. But you find yourself in a troubling predicament where Reciprocity might get a little bit too patient and a bit too meek.
Foxay's looking to have an explosive flank here, but Mav is going to be the one to receive him should this ever happen. Mav actually going to be going for, it looks like a late flank maybe? It'll be a battle of timing between these teams. I have no idea how Mark missed that shot, but he's going for the plant. Foxay from behind takes down Cameraman. A huge kill. That's the Mira, though. That's the least denial on the defensive team right now.
And that's the utility that's been baited out now as well. One smoke is Mav, you said on flank, will lose the fight to Skies, who needs to heat up to keep his team in this. As another toxic canister will go down to prevent Reciprocity's waltzing right inside of the garage. It's a counter punch though, but Moringa gets taken out after 1 kill. Retro picks up a double, and Yuna will need to hold everything together. But he's not going to be able to do so, in a 3K from Retro will give the North American team enough to push us into overtime, and we will go the full distance here on this map. On our 3rd map, Michael, we'll need at least 2 more rounds to determine which of these teams makes it out of Group A.
Retro's not missing his shots, that's for sure.
Retro said, I ain't going home.
Not like this. We're still 2 rounds away from somebody taking this. Potentially 3 if we go the full distance, but it's going to take 2 rounds total for one of these teams to win over the next 3. Cafeteria Garage again from FaZe. They've brought a similar lineup here. They've traded out the Legion for the Doc. Could be 6 picked out of, we'll see. But they've got the double indirect denial, that Echo Maestro once more. And that's been such a potent combination. It is worth noting, Parker, that we have seen only 4 attacking wins of these 12 rounds. And FaZe Clan win the coin toss and go to defense first. That could be everything for this whole match.
I mean, stranger things have happened.
Stranger things have happened. We have seen some crazy stuff here at this event, and it's entirely possible Reciprocity is going to work some magic, but they are definitely the ones at the disadvantage going into this overtime.
10 seconds left before insertion.
Not only at a disadvantage in terms of sides, but also
5 seconds to insertion.
a disadvantage in terms of what to bring.
Yeah.
You have to basically create a composition here that can work with the garage, that can work with the console office upstairs, and can work with the lobby on the main floor, and maybe even a wonky Teller's Archives defense if that gets pulled out.
I mean, why do you think there's no IQ? Because you have to bring Thatcher. Why do you have to bring Thatcher? So you can attack garage. I mean, and yeah, IQ would be great here, but you're right. You're kind of limited on your options because you don't know exactly what's going to be happening from your opponent. And on top of that, more than that, on the note of what to pick, I've said it a lot, but Echo and Maestro, neither of them getting banned, has been huge for FaZe, and they've taken full advantage.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you've got competent fragging potential in Mav and Astro. They can anchor down the Maestro. You've got Yuna playing on the Echo as well. So it's an opportunity that FaZe is not letting slip away. Now, this is an interesting strategy that we've seen a couple times here. Something that Liquid did, if I remember. Basically open up one of the hatches and you can launch a C4 through that. But Liquid did it, I think, with a 2-mirror strategy at the Invitationals last year, all the way from the back of White Fan. Cameraman's not going to bother with that. He's just going to sit at the back. But the gamble will not pay off, as there goes one of the garage panels, and Mark will need to grab the other, in which he stands by in front of the ejected mirror window. Pacing right now, halfway through the round.
There's nobody by pipes for the defense. They're relying a lot on the indirect.
Also the yokai drones.
The yokai drones, the indirect from both them and the Evil Eyes, going to be very powerful here, but it's forcing a retake strategy from FaZe. It's definitely a combination that's worked for them in the past. They might be predicting a Ying to be brought by Reciprocity, and that's why they're playing so far back, which would make a whole lot of sense.
Which is what Skies did bring.
But it did not work for them last time, and that's why I'm guessing they're not bringing it here. It's still anyone's round, but FaZe are in a good spot.
And here we go. Smoke's going out, and Mark will just watch very tenderly as he goes for a plant in a spot that a lot of people aren't anticipating. But Astro is there, and the yokai drone will possibly spot him. Sky sees Astro, but no! They don't spot Mark! Reciprocity locks the site down. Skies gets 2, which will force the double ACOGs of both Mav and Yuna to try to retake in a 2v5. An almost impossible situation. A beautiful shot from Mav, and Yuna will get Skies, but all of the rest of the bodies from Reciprocity will be so far removed. Mav picks up yet another, and FaZe right now grabbing victory from the jaws of defeat. The timer at half, Mav on yellow stairs, watching very patiently. Yuna trying to long-arm this as best as he can, but he's only a pixel away. Mav gets down, picks himself back up. Yuna going for the disable. Oh my goodness, Laxing is there. Mav takes him down, and he'll have to grab the diffuser. But no, he's out of time, and he's out of life. Laxing dismayed, but Reciprocity managed to still hold it together. And the whole region of North America will breathe a deep sigh of relief, as it's a defense for Reciprocity and long faces on FaZe Clan as they now sit facing elimination and an early trip home.
What a round. Period. I mean, both teams played out of their minds. There was no world where I saw Mav and Astro bringing that back, but they came darn close. Within 1 kill of winning that round. Retro managing to clutch it in the end, as he has been so clutch on these basement attacks and throughout this tournament. Seriously impressive feat for Retro to make that happen, and more importantly for Reciprocity as a whole. The most impressive thing to me was the plant, and such an odd location. If the yokai had just seen the planter, it would have been an easy denial, and he was in a position where he could have denied. But, and this is very ironic, the gas canisters from smoke obscuring the vision for the yokai. He couldn't see him.
Yeah.
He couldn't see him. That is such a oof. I mean,
it's misfortune.
It's truly misfortune.
You can't predict that.
I mean, you can't blame the smoke. The gas canister should be going down. He's trying to deny the plant, same as you and your yokai.
And you don't think that anybody's going to be planting over there, because in the times that I've casted this game, I've maybe seen 4 or 5 times that somebody's planted in that part of the map.
Uncommon as all heck.
Extremely uncommon.
And that right there is the tenacity of Reciprocity. The beauty of that call to plant behind that box, they clearly wanted to do that from the get-go. The whole take was centered around it. Why did they want to do that? Because they knew that nobody from FaZe were defending behind White, which is a key anchor position for most defenses. Since no one's behind White, Reciprocity focused and prioritized control of the platform. Once they had control of the platform, they didn't need anything else. The plant was going down. None of the denial was in a position to deny the defuse going down. So just, wow, a brilliant calculation. Came within inches of failure there for Reciprocity, but still the right call. And that was a salvaged round if I've ever seen one. And now they get the advantage of defending. Potentially, all they're going to need to end this.
Attackers are moving out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
So what kind of heroics can FaZe muster up here for their fan base, for their region, for the rest of this team? It's do or die, quite literally, in regards to this particular setup. We're going to go up top to console office for the very final round of defense for Reciprocity. There will still be one defensive round for FaZe, if FaZe pulls it off. But given how the defense have looked so good, that's definitely not a foregone conclusion by any stretch of the imagination. Now, a lot of times that we've seen an attack on this site, Reciprocity have stacked 2 bodies up by Visa. Right now, that's exactly where Laxing is going to play, and the pulse of FaZe was not too far off. But FaZe's upstairs right now, instead of being down in server. So a bit more of a conservative defensive setup from Reciprocity for the time being.
I think that's smart in this situation.
Laxing the only one that's roaming.
Yeah, he's in an odd spot, isn't he? But yeah, pretty far from the action. He could catch some rotations from FaZe if they come out, but Reciprocity should be aware that this is a dedicated B take from FaZe Clan. It's a bit of a risk to go for that, but hey man, you gotta do something to give yourself an edge.
If nobody takes piano control from FaZe, and nobody from FaZe flushes out connector, it's so easy to thwart a double repellent on those windows to console office.
This is looking a lot like that round from Reciprocity where nothing happened for the first 2 minutes, and oh, something will happen, but it's exactly what FaZe don't want. Mav, one of their best players, will be picked off by Retro.
Who peeks that?
Who peeks that indeed, Parker? But it works out for Retro, and that's all that really matters.
That's a kind of play where it's just, you know, it pisses Mav off.
It does, and it might cost them this tournament.
Your only set of frag grenades from FaZe Clan gone. Your soft destruction, your ability to play underneath the site and clear out any roamers, also equally gone.
Reciprocity are sitting pretty now as we hit the last minute, and all they need to do is wait, use their utility deny, and they're gonna get another one on Tayuna. Mark the Shark shuts them down on yellow stairs.
And Reciprocity just needs to wait as the yellow cloud will smoke will slowly dissipate. Cameraman down in Zulu taking some damage, and he'll run off with Laxing on a deep roam down in the basement looking to come back to site. He'll do so through spiral stairs, but he gets caught out. And actually, there's still a pulse left. Not just in FaZe's hands, but also in FaZe as they pick up 2 kills. But still, control of connector is being held for Reciprocity. This is pivotal. If you can't push Skies out, you cannot make this work. And there you go, Skies gets 1, but down by Astro. You got FaZe below, Astro gunned down. Cameraman will need to do it all. He was so good in rounds 1 and 2. All of FaZe watching as Cameraman has no time, he has no diffuser, and that's it, Reciprocity will take it. There will be representation from 2 North American squads as it comes down to the wire, and a lead slips through their fingers, but they regain the momentum at the very right moment. Reciprocity will be your 5th team to make it to the main stage on Friday.
Retro, the man at the back there in the white jersey, the true hero of not only that round, but all of Consulate, having an amazing performance and putting 12 kills on the board. So did Laxing, though. I mean, we saw a lot of kills all over the place for Reciprocity, but those frags from Retro in that last round and in all of these final rounds were so pivotal, managing to win many for his team. And that was, oh man, that was just impressive.
Skies still undefeated